My name's Kirsty Bradley and I'm the MAKTAG coordinator. MAKTAG is the UK component of the Atlantic Mackerel tagging programme, started by the Institute of Marine Research Norway in 2011. Last year we had a proof of concept year, and this year we're out again with a new setup, so let's see how we get on. Let's go look at the kit.
The first step is catching the mackerel. To do this, we use an automated fishing line known as an auto jigger, which releases the line of barbless hooks to a certain depth, normally between 30 and 50 metres, where the mackerel shoal is sometimes visible on the echo sounder. Once the mackerel are reeled in, they come over the mackerel wheel into the fish trough, designed to make sure they have an easy route to our holding tanks. The fisher removes the mackerel with minimal handling and transfers it to a net, before putting it into our holding tanks, ready for step 2, which is tagging. Once the mackerel is in the holding tank, we leave them to acclimatise after being caught, until they're ready to tag. We select fish using a rubberised net, which is designed to minimise any harm or damage. A trained scientist takes the mackerel out of the net quickly, using a simple hold, and checks for vitality and health. In one motion, the fish is then put onto the measuring board, the handler vocalises the length, and the battery-free tag is inserted into the fish by the competent tagger. The fish is then released through a release pipe, which exits 5 metres below the surface to avoid any bird predation. This process takes about 5 seconds per fish. Once complete, the needle is cleaned, the next tag is loaded, and it's on to the next fish. Every effort is made to minimise harm, to make sure the fish is in good welfare, and we spot check our scientists throughout our trip to share improvements and refinements across our scientific team and the ship's crew to improve the process while at sea.
It was very exciting last year. It was new. This year we've tried to refine it a bit, so a lot of collaboration between us and scientists trying to make it smooth as possible. Try to get the best results we can. It's been very interesting, quite challenging some days, but it's always good. So hopefully that continues going forward.
These co-designed improvements included new release pipes, 3 stations, which streamlined our setup, meaning we were able to tag over 2,300 fish in a single day. In 2023, we released 3,207 tags in 7 days, and in 2024, we were able to exceed this total, tagging 7,779 in 13 days.
Let's talk about the tag. This is our RFID tag. It's really small and inert, and it's battery free. Now this uses RFID technology, which you might use in your day-to-day life, whether you need to get into an office building or a hotel room, for example. Your detector will provide your coil with enough energy to read off a unique identification number, and hopefully the door opens for you. So in terms of our mackerel, this allows us to have a unique number for an individual fish, and at release we have point A, and once it's recaptured we have point B, and this information is a data source that we use to understand the stock.
In the UK there's 2 main fisheries for mackerel, one in the autumn and one in the winter. The boats land their catches to factories in Scotland, Norway and Denmark, and when the fish enters the factory on a conveyor belt, it passes under a scanner that detects any tagged fish and sends the coded information to a database. Factory staff record every landing separately, and that information is matched with information from the boats and also from the Scottish Pelagic Industry Science Data Collection Programme to determine the catch location. This information is then compiled for all the landings from all the factories and sent to an international database that's used in the stock assessment for mackerel.
Okay, the Northeast Atlantic mackerel stock is very large and it's spread out over much of the Northeast Atlantic. It's a highly migratory stock, so there's a lot of movement over seasonal ranges and seasonal time periods. And one of the ways of sorting out or figuring out the migration rates and migration routes is through tagging programs. The tagging program also provides us with other information such as mortality rates, which are very important with respect to input to stock assessments, and having long time series of these tagging studies does provide us with very robust data as input to the assessment One of the other things that we've started to do now is to actually start tagging in the North Sea, which is an area which wasn't really covered previously, but is a very important input and addition to the current tagging program, which was initiated many years ago. And so we will see a much better and more robust input to the assessments.
Thank you to everyone on board and on shore who helped make this reality both in 2023 and 2024. We're looking forward to the future of MAKTAG and continuing to contribute to this impactful data stream now and in the future. If you're still curious, you can find more information at www.cefas.co.uk/MAKTAG, or you can explore all the data across all countries in the international database, the Smart Fish Map.